You wake up and the bank account has your name on it, just your name. The mortgage, the joint card, the shared Netflix login. All of it is now a negotiation or a memory. You are not broke, but you are standing at a financial starting line you never expected to be at. Here is the number nobody tells you before you sign the papers. According to research from Legal & General, women's household income drops by an average of 33% in the year following divorce. For men, it's 18%. That's not a temporary dip. That's a structural reset of your entire financial life, and most people walk into it completely unprepared. A Debt.com survey of 507 divorced Americans, conducted in September 2025, found that 1 in 4 said they were not prepared at all for the financial cost of their divorce. More than 1 in 10 say they are still recovering financially right now. Here is what we are doing in this video. 6 moves in order to rebuild your financial foundation after divorce. Not generic advice, specific steps, specific tools, and the one move that most people skip that quietly costs them thousands every single year after they split. Before the moves, let's be clear about the landscape. Pew Research Center data from June 2025 shows that, in 2023, over 1.8 million Americans went through a divorce. About a third of all Americans who have ever been married have experienced divorce. In Canada, contested divorces now average $20,625 in legal fees, and if the case goes to trial, total costs can reach $43,481 or more, according to 2025 data from the Canadian Lawyer Survey. You have likely already spent money getting here. What tends to happen next is the financial equivalent of whiplash. A 2-income household becomes 1. A shared mortgage becomes a question. Joint accounts that were building wealth together now need to be untangled, divided, and rebuilt separately. The World Metrics 2026 American Divorce Statistics Report notes that financial recovery from divorce takes most people between 1 and 3 years. Longer when the financial groundwork is not laid immediately after separation. The people who recover fastest are not the ones with the most money. They are the ones who act on the right steps early. These are those steps. Move 1. Update every beneficiary designation. This week, not next month. This is the move almost everyone delays, and it is the most legally dangerous one to get wrong. The American Bar Association recommends rewriting your will entirely after divorce. But your will is not the only place your ex-spouse's name lives. Your 401k, your IRA, your life insurance policy, and any transfer on death accounts all have beneficiary designations. And in most US states and in Canada, those designations override whatever your updated will says. If you die before you update them, your ex-spouse collects. Full stop. Principal Financial Group flags this as the first post-divorce financial priority. Review all retirement accounts, life insurance policies, and investment accounts, and change the beneficiary immediately. In Canada, your RRSP, TFSA, and group benefits plan all carry the same risk. Log into your accounts today. This takes 20 minutes. The cost of skipping it is everything. Move 2. Close joint accounts and open accounts in your name only. Joint credit cards and bank accounts that remain open after a divorce are a liability, even if your divorce decree says your ex is responsible for the balance. Creditors do not care what your divorce agreement says. If your name is on the account, you are on the hook. Focus Partners, a registered investment advisory firm, recommends closing or separating all joint checking, savings, and credit card accounts immediately once your decree is finalized. In the US, open a checking account and a high-yield savings account in your name only. NerdWallet's March 2026 rankings show accounts available at Ally Bank and Marcus by Goldman Sachs offering up to 4% APY with no monthly fees. In Canada, EQ Bank and Wealthsimple both offer no-fee accounts you can open fully online in under 15 minutes. Once accounts are open in your name, set up direct deposit. The clean financial separation starts here. Move 3. Build your solo budget. Based on 1 income, not 2. This is where most people underestimate the adjustment. Your fixed expenses, rent or mortgage, car, insurance, utilities, were likely built around a 2-income household. They do not automatically shrink when the household does. A Debt.com 2025 survey found that 42% of divorced Americans cited credit card debt as a contributing factor in their marriage ending. And the financial habits that created that debt do not disappear with the decree. You need a new budget built around your actual single income before you spend another dollar. In the US, YNAB, you need a budget, costs $14.99 per month and is specifically built to help people manage income that does not feel like enough. In Canada, Monarch Money offers the same zero-based approach. The rule is simple. Every dollar gets a job before the month begins. If your income now covers rent, food, insurance, and minimum debt payments, you start there, not with what you wish you could afford. Move 4. Establish or rebuild your own credit profile. If your mortgage, car loan, or primary credit cards were all in your spouse's name, you may have very little individual credit history. That becomes a problem the moment you try to rent an apartment, buy a car, or apply for any loan on your own. The fix is deliberate, and it takes time to start. In the US, open a secured credit card. Discover it. Secured and Capital One, Platinum Secured are both commonly recommended entry points with no annual fee. Use it for one recurring bill monthly and pay the full balance every month. In Canada, Refresh Financial and Home Trust offer secured cards with the same approach. Pull your credit report for free at annualcreditreport.com in the US or through Equifax Canada or TransUnion Canada to see exactly where you stand. Your goal in year 1 is not a perfect score. It is establishing a solo credit history that is yours, independent of anyone else's financial behavior. Move 5. Revisit your retirement accounts and get a QDRO if needed. If you or your spouse had a 401k, pension, or in Canada, a defined benefit plan at work, the division of those assets requires a very specific legal document. In the US, it's called a Qualified Domestic Relations Order, a QDRO. Without it, the retirement plan administrator will not transfer the funds, and attempting to move the money incorrectly can trigger a 10% early withdrawal penalty plus full income tax on the amount. Edelman Financial Engines and Focus Partners both flag this as one of the most commonly missed post-divorce financial steps. In Canada, pension division rules vary by province, but CPP credit splitting applies to pensionable earnings accumulated during the relationship, and either spouse can request the split after divorce. The maximum CPP retirement benefit in 2026 is $1,507.65 per month, according to Service Canada. That is real money that belongs on your balance sheet. Talk to a certified divorce financial analyst, a CDFA, to make sure the division is handled without triggering penalties. Move 6. Rebuild your emergency fund. Starting with $1,000. Divorce depletes savings. Legal fees, moving costs, deposits, and setting up a new household can drain an emergency fund that took years to build. Bankrate's 2026 Emergency Savings Report found that only 47% of Americans can cover a $1,000 unexpected expense from savings. After a divorce, that number for recently separated individuals is likely worse. You do not need to rebuild 6 months of expenses overnight. Start with a $1,000 target, a starter emergency fund that breaks the cycle of using credit cards for unexpected costs. Open a separate high-yield savings account earmarked only for emergencies and automate a transfer every payday, even if it is $25. In the US, Ally Bank's Savings Buckets feature lets you label a sub-account emergency only and automate the deposit. In Canada, Wealthsimple's automated savings inside a TFSA means that growth is completely tax-free. Do not touch this account for anything other than a genuine emergency. That discipline is what makes the reset stick. There are 4 things that derail post-divorce financial recoveries more than anything else. Know them now. Keeping the house you cannot afford solo. Many people fight for the family home in a settlement and then spend years financially underwater trying to carry a mortgage on one income. If the numbers do not work on your income alone, sell. The equity is a far more powerful reset tool than the address. Skipping the QDRO, or pension division paperwork. This is not something you can come back and fix easily years later. If retirement assets were part of your settlement, the legal division documents must be filed correctly and promptly. Consult a CDFA or family law attorney before your decree is final. Ignoring your ex's debt that carries your name. Per thedebt.com 2025 survey, more than a third of divorcing Americans admitted to hiding debt from their spouse during the marriage. Get a full copy of your joint credit report before the settlement is final. You need to know every account your name is attached to, and negotiate to have your name removed from your ex's debts as part of the agreement. Recovering financially before recovering emotionally. The World Metrics 2026 report notes that financial recovery from divorce averages 1 to 3 years, but most people make their worst financial decisions in the first 90 days when the emotional weight is heaviest. Before making any major financial move, especially selling assets, taking on new debt, or making large purchases, give yourself a 30-day rule. If the decision still makes sense in 30 days, make it. Here is the full reset in order. Move 1. Update every beneficiary designation this week. 401k, IRA, life insurance, RRSP, TFSA, everything. Move 2. Close joint accounts and open solo accounts in your name. Move 3. Build a solo budget based on your real single income using YNAB or Monarch Money. Move 4. Establish your own credit profile with a secured card and a free credit report. Move 5. Get your QDRO or pension division paperwork filed correctly. Talk to a CDFA. Move 6. Rebuild your emergency fund starting with $1,000, automated every payday. The financial reset after a divorce is not fast, but it is entirely possible, and the people who move through it fastest are the ones who stopped waiting until they felt ready and started taking the next concrete step. You do not need to fix everything at once. You need to fix the next thing. What is the financial step from this list that feels most urgent for where you are right now? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone, and I will respond to the first 30. And if this kind of practical, sourced content is what you have been looking for, subscribe. That is the last I will say about it.